there's a world outside of you. There's a world outside of the way we view things and the way we live life here, which can feel like the true reality. Sometimes we get so stuck in the way like systems operate here, but I think seeing the way even small things like back home, like everyone, like we all have breakfast at the same time.
Hey beautiful souls, welcome back to Chop It Up with your girl Lebanon. In this cultural platform, we speak to particularly Black and Brown creators who are creating a life for themselves, who inspire me. We explore through engaging conversations, learning more about them and their life journeys to where they are today and where they want to see themselves in the future. So today we have Kija Lado. Right?
That's me. You
Last name,
killed
okay?
it. No, you killed it.
Okay, who is a South Sudanese singer, songwriter, and multidisciplinary artist here in the city of Edmonton, Alberta. How are you doing today?
Girl, I'm good. I'm good. How
You're
are
good?
you?
I'm good. So
I'm
we're so
good.
honored to have you here today to bring us your insight and depth into learning more about you and who you are. So I like to kick off with a kind of like a this or that. This segment is called Chop Choices. So I'll give you a couple choices, about 5 of them, and you'll just kind of choose which one you prefer. Okay. So the first one is acoustic or electronic instruments.
Ooh, you're good at these questions. Acoustic or I'm gonna go acoustic. Acoustic.
Acoustic,
Yeah.
and why?
It's earthy. It's natural. It's right there in your hands. I mean, yeah, I think it's the most real thing we can get. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like acoustic too because of the sound.
Okay.
And I like to, when I'm in environments where I hear, like, I don't mind electronic, but when I'm
Yeah.
in specific environments where, like, especially like reggae or like if you're in like intimate settings, having
Yeah.
acoustic instruments, I feel like just like adds another layer.
It does. And it's like the one thing that's available to everyone. You know, not everyone's gonna have electronic stuff, but
Yeah.
some remote village somewhere or wherever,
That
we're all
is
gonna
true.
have that acoustic instrument. So we can all,
Okay.
you know? So
Okay,
yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Would you rather collaborate when you're songwriting or do it by yourself?
That's a good. I've been doing a lot of collaborations recently, so I feel like I don't even. Oh gosh, I'm a control freak, to be honest. So I think I just like to get out my ideas. But I think collaborating with people has brought the most richness to like the work that I'm doing right now. So you know what? I'll pick collaboration because you can still be yourself in collaborating, but you get the benefit of everyone else too. So I'll say collaborating, 100%.
Okay, for me, when I was younger, I actually used to write songs a long
Okay,
time ago.
period.
I learned how to develop them by myself, but the way I work is like I just need to start something on my own, and
Yeah.
then when it's time to
Bring-
work with everybody, then
Yeah.
But like if we're in a group and it's like let's do this, it's too over
Ideas
stimulating for me.
yeah, that's been me. I think so. So I agree, but I still vote for collaboration for sure. Yeah.
So, would you prefer studio recording or live performances?
Live performance.
Why?
It's that same thing. It's real. Like you can't imitate like, you know, a real off the floor kind of thing. So yeah, I think I always lean towards performances or music that has that factor of it being real, and it like cuts through what's a lot of overproduction sometimes, you know? So yeah, I'd say live performance 100%. Yeah.
Okay. When you're writing, would you say you're more melody driven or lyrically driven?
Melody comes first. Because my start was poetry. I think I started like my artistic journey with poetry. So words were always a huge factor, but I think there's a reason why we listen to music. Like I could write a really good song and have amazing lyrics. But if there's no music, that's people come for the music and they stay for the substance of the words, right? So otherwise it could just be a poem. So I think when I'm writing, I always start with what is the music feeling, how is that inspiring the lyrics, and then I come in with some really good lyrics as well. But melody makes music, right? I think it's the primary foundation. So yeah, I'd say that. How do you feel? What do you think about that?
I was very lyric driven when I was like younger and trying to learn how to make music. I think for me, I was trying to understand like back in those days,
Back in
not
my
trying to
day.
age myself, but when I was in high school and I was learning, I think a lot of the songwriting I saw was very like, you write a hook, then you write a chorus, then you write, like, it was very structured.
Yeah.
But as time has gone on, I've learned that there's really no structure when it comes to songwriting.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to
You start
have
on opposite ends.
yeah,
to
you don't
whatever.
have to have like the name of the song. Sometimes the name of the song is not even in the chorus. Like, I think
Yeah.
that's where it gets into like artistic, like how a person is artistically.
Yeah.
They do it. They use their drive in whatever way
Yeah.
they want.
Intuition, whatever. You
Yeah.
call it. Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
definitely lyrically, but I understand like a lot of times if people hear a melody, then they're able to put lyrics to that melody
Yeah.
as well.
100%.
Okay, the last one is traditional rhythms or contemporary beats.
Ooh. Traditional rhythms.
It could be anything. It could be like
Ah.
something that a rhythm that is like cultural, or it could be a rhythm from like music that you use that is from 90s, 80s.
Yeah. Or contemporary. I'm gonna say traditional rhythms.
Yeah, okay.
It's the foundation, you know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of what we're doing contemporarily is building on that. So I'm gonna say traditional.
Okay.
Back to the roots. And that could be, I think, even my own like tribal kind of rhythms,
Yeah.
but also 90s music. What we grew
Yeah,
up on,
I think
so,
music has grown, but at the same time, we're seeing a lot of sampling.
Yeah.
And because we're seeing a lot of the sampling is older beats.
Yeah.
So
Right?
I think there's ways to make it sound great. And like, you're like, okay, this sounds good. And then
Yeah.
sometimes it's like, why? Like, why? Why was like the sample was so good? But I
Yeah.
think at the same time, like the contemporary beats can add something to like the traditional rhythms. So like maybe there's a drum beat and then in production there might be like something a little bit added to it to like pronounce it more in the ear.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think there's like different ways to navigate.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. So next is our proverbs.
Ooh.
Proverb picks. So
Okay.
I looked through the internet
Tell
and
me
I
what you
tried to
found.
find
What did you find, though?
something. I'm going to say we're going to say East African proverb because I don't want to say a certain country and it's wrong.
Don't come for Lebanon,
Yes,
please.
don't come for me, please. I really tried, but we know our African proverbs. They're to teach us. They're to help us learn.
Yeah.
Mostly, they like to put goats, cows, lions, all those things.
Sheep.
So, this proverb I have for you is only the good action tears a hair off the lion's beard out.
Only the good action.
Action, yes. Tears a hair
Uh-huh.
of the lion's beard out.
This one's going over my head and into the alley.
Okay, let's break it down together. Okay.
Yeah, one by one.
Only the good action. So what's a good action? Like in the like
Sure. Someone lost something and you gave it back to them.
yes,
instead of
okay.
keeping it.
So tears a hair off the lion.
Like defeats like the beast. Is that
Okay.
what
So like if
interpretation?
there's a good action, does it tear off the lion's beard?
You know what? I'm gonna take. Can I reinterpret it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Assume what this means.
There's no like right or wrong answer.
Okay.
I think it's for you to interpret what you think it means to you.
Wow. At whatever time this is, my brain is spinning. I'm gonna say, if you're in the face of like a giant, a
Okay.
giant thing, a scary thing that could devour you or whatever, a good action
Mm-hmm.
would save you. I think it would save you, or like be able to like to do something in the face of that like huge kind of obstacle or defeat. Or maybe I might even say like doing some good thing that you do can like do something for you in the future, maybe. So like
Okay.
if you some past good actions will come and help you when you're in like a place of between a
Clash.
rock and a hard place. That's a hard one, girl. You should have given me one about sheep and goats.
Honestly, I feel that. Have you been back to South Sudan?
I lived there.
Hi, good. Another thing to add. You lived there or you
3
lived
years. Lived.
there?
Past
No, I
tense.
mean like
3 years I lived there, 2011 to 2014.
okay. So that's
Yeah.
after independence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right cusp.
We want to find out more about you. So what would you say was your childhood like?
All over the place,
Mm.
literally, physically, and yeah, I was born and raised in Edmonton.
Mhm.
I'm the youngest of five, and my parents had moved back home, I think, when I was like 7 or something like that. So I spent a lot of time living with like my siblings, different siblings.
Mhm.
I ended up moving back home. So I feel like I'm a product of a lot of people
Mhm.
raising me, a lot of family. So yeah, think I had a very colorful childhood between living in Edmonton and South Sudan. So yeah.
So, were you born there or you born here?
Born in Edmonton.
Okay,
Yeah.
but
And then
you
I
moved
moved
back
back home
for like 2 or
3
3. So how
years.
old were you?
I was I think I was 11 when I had moved back home.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the fact you were born here and living here,
Yeah.
what was that transition like? And because I feel like when a lot of African parents take their children home, sometimes it's seen as a punishment, and you were there for 2 years. So,
You know what? I didn't do anything bad.
okay.
All of my siblings had gotten married, and there was no one else for me to to stay
Oh,
with. And
okay, okay.
the sister that I was living with at the time, she was moving to the States.
Mhm.
So my parents were like, just come live with us back home. And honestly, I had a great time. You know, like you're expecting some sort of culture shock and
Mhm.
whatnot, but I think I was just really excited, and I was like a very adventurous child, and I wanted to take on this new adventure. So, and I was with my parents, you know, so yeah, there was a lot of stuff that went into that when I got there. There was a lot of culture shock, obviously
Mhm.
being born and raised and identifying as a Canadian, and
Mhm.
that was my first time really understanding what it meant to be South Sudanese. You know,
Mhm.
showing up and okay, now I'm this. You know, it's not
Mhm.
just my parents. Like finding out the culture for myself. So yeah,
How would you like coming back from
yeah,
that 2 years that you were there?
yeah.
Was there like any reverse culture shocks when you got back to Canada, or did you just seamlessly just
I think it was seamless.
okay?
I think yeah, because I still felt like I'm from this is home. Like
Mhm.
Edmonton is really home to me. But I think I just came back with a lot more like life experience. I just felt like a part of me had been complete,
Okay.
whereas maybe there was a part of me that was missing before that I didn't know about. You know, so
Mm.
but yeah, it was pretty seamless. I feel like I just had a better idea of like what life is like outside of this. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So yeah,
What are some things that you carry from that experience? I know you were young, like 11, 12,
yeah,
13.
but still,
Yeah, but
it
like
was formative.
yeah,
Yeah.
so like are there things from that experience living there that you feel like you still were instilled in you that you still use today?
Yeah, I think like what I just said about there's a world outside of you. There's a world outside of the way we view things and the way
Mhm.
we live life here, which can feel like the true reality. Sometimes we get so stuck in the way like systems operate here, but I think seeing the way even small things like back home, like everyone, like we all have breakfast at the same time.
Mm.
We all eat the same thing. People eat lunch together on one big
So like
tray.
very community.
It's yeah, and it's slow. It's
Mm.
really slow. So I think I couldn't appreciate it at the time because I was a kid, but now in hindsight, I have an appreciation and understanding for like life doesn't have to move at this kind of pace. Like it
Mhm.
doesn't have to be quick and so that's one huge thing that I think I carry with me all the time. And then just to be grateful, you know? I think I could have easily been my cousin who's still living back home who didn't have the access or opportunity to some things I have here. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. So I think I don't let that, you know, like choke me and make me feel like, oh, I need to do all these things. So that's
Mhm.
a real thing for us, you know, like, okay, we're here and now it's time to do the most because we have the opportunity. But I feel like my story is my story and I'm gonna live it in the most honest way to myself. But I always just remember that um I have this opportunity, so I should chase it and not chase what, you know, people or my parents might think I should do or whatever society says, but with this opportunity I have here, chase the most honest thing to you, what God put really like truly deep inside you. And that might not be all these accolades.
Mhm.
It just might be the opportunity that I have the chance to live like a life where, you know, I can reach self-actualization, you know?
Mhm.
So yeah, I think gratitude and just remembering like that there's different paces of life and there's different ways that we can live and
Mhm.
exist. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So thinking back into your childhood, which combines Canada and South Sudan, what were like some of the hobbies and things that you love so much that you may not do right now anymore, but you still like if you were to bring them back, you're like, oh, I really enjoyed this because it made me feel
Yeah.
this.
And from particularly living back home.
It could be either
Just
or.
any kind
Just
of
like anything in
thing.
your childhood that you were like, oh, I used to do this hobby, or I used to really
Yeah.
love this, but now I don't do it anymore.
I used to rollerblade.
Ooh, okay.
And I tried to take it up in the pandemic. But I fell and like I twisted my ankle and I'm like, I'm too old for this. I can't do this now.
Was it the rollerblading with the 4 wheels or the 2?
The blades,
Or
like the inline.
Oh, okay.
And I would go everywhere. Like I would go, like if you lived in Castle Downs or North Edmonton, like early 2000s, you would find me rollerblading all around. But yeah, I tried picking it up again, but it doesn't work anymore for me. So I've retired it. But what did I used to do as a kid that brought me joy? I think I still do the things that I did as a kid. I haven't really grown up, which is a good thing. You know what I mean? I like to sing. I like to go on adventures and travel and make up worlds in my head. And I still do that even with like music right now. So yeah, I think I'm sort of still living the dream for sure. Yeah.
Okay. So speaking about family and
Yeah.
family here and family in South Sudan, how did your family take you wanting to pursue music? Or singing, songwriting, and poetry, and all the other arts that you're into?
Do they know? Do they know? I don't know. I don't know if I've officially like come out as a musician yet. I don't think I've done that. I have a really good family. I have again, I'm the youngest of 5, and I think some things you sort of just get away with because your parents are sort of done raising, like they're tired of raising people, right? It's just like, just do, but I think my parents, and I always talk about this, and it's something I talk about in the music too, is like they just they trusted me, and I think I had a really good inner voice, and I came off as confident because I was, and I had conviction from a kid. So you can look at someone like that and be like, they have a good head on their shoulders, and I might not agree with everything they're doing, but they're doing what they want to do. So I feel like my family really trusts me, and I have a reason. I have conviction and passion for everything I do. So it just makes sense that if it was music, that I'm going to do music. If it was anything else, that I'd do it because that's what I'm meant to do and what I should be doing. So, but that's not to say there aren't like, there's no apprehension, there is. But I think, being an adult and being South Sudanese, being African, all of these identities are just forcing me to really stand on business, be like, as an African woman, this is what I want to be. This is who I can be. As the youngest of this family, this is who I want to be. All of my identities, I'm just finding it an opportunity to reinforce that this is who I want to be and this is what I'm supposed to do, right? So, yeah.
Okay. So, musical influences. So,
My
personally,
favorite.
I know you play the guitar. You said you
Yes.
started doing through poetry.
Yeah.
So that means you would also write poetry.
I did.
Right, so,
really
like,
bad poems.
Don't say that. Because the poetry, I
Roses
feel
are
like,
red,
also led you
violets
into
are
like
blue.
songwriting though. So you can't really say you're a bad poet.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not.
Okay.
Standalone poetry, like I'm decent.
You're
I think
decent.
so. Yeah.
Would you say are your musical influences? Like some artists that you listen to,
Yeah.
or like whether it's bands or groups that really resound with you.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, going back to where I first realized that music was a thing and fell in love with it. I used to write like songs in my kitchen when nobody was home, when I was of age to stay at home. And like I music through church, like just South Sudanese gospel hymns that we play at church. That was really it. I didn't, and like obviously just like R&B, like 90s R&B, because from my siblings, like I remember like the first album I listened to fully was like Toni Braxton's, I don't even know what album it was, Secrets, I think.
Okay.
So like a mix of stuff. I would say definitely like 90s R&B, gospel music, South Sudanese gospel. And then when I became of age to like buy my own music and do all that kind of stuff, Lauryn Hill was like everything to me. I remember the first time I heard her MTV Unplugged album, and I was in high school, and it changed my life. And it's like my favorite album till this day. So I'd say Black women really, I think, are like my musical influence. Lauryn Hill, currently a contemporary artist, is Yeba. I love her very much. Leanne LaHavis informed a lot of like my guitar playing and inspired me for that. So yeah, it's sort of all over the place. But as a church kid, I'd say like church music, R&B.
Yeah.
It's like the
I
same
think
thing, you know?
People don't realize a lot of the people that we listen to today,
They're all
majority of
church
them started in the
kids.
church.
Yeah, they're all
Like
church kids.
the church has something.
Yeah.
Because everybody, whether it was like the drummer or the singer or like producers or
Yeah.
musicians, a lot of them came from the church.
Yeah.
Even like R&B music, a lot of it came from the
You know
church.
what I'll say?
Soul music, like
Yeah.
everything came from the church. So
Yeah.
what's your approach when you songwrite? Like
Mm.
what do you think about what makes you want to write a song? What gets you in that mood to start writing music?
Yeah. I hate songwriting. And that's like a hot take. I really honestly it makes me want to claw my eyes out. And while writing for my album, really it was the first time I ever really wrote and sat down, because I struggle with perfectionism my entire life. I wouldn't make anything unless it was perfect. So a lot of ideas got cut short, like before they were able to be birthed. But I think it was just a couple years ago I was like, no, I need to just start. You need to make something. You need to allow an idea air before you suffocate it. So I started typically for me it's music first that sort of informs like the feeling. So I would just start like downloading beats off the internet and like trying to catch a vibe or whatever, and writing to that. And I think something that has informed my songwriting would be just like intention. I really don't write for leisure. I think it's something I'm trying to get into, but something that allowed me to start getting into the songwriting was because I had gone through a series of adverse situations in the past few years, and I felt like, oh my gosh, I have something to say now. For a long time, I remember I went to BAM, like one of the BAM events in Edmonton,
Like
and Black Arts Matter.
I feel like they're
when it
not
was
around
when it was-
anymore. Or maybe they are,
when
but
it was
when it was,
yeah.
okay,
And
yeah.
there was like a circle, and someone who I sing in their group now, Dorje, I had asked, I was like, how do you know what to say as an artist? And I think Dorje had mentioned something about I don't even remember the specifics, but like I was just struggling with finding my voice. Like I sung a lot of covers when I started singing in the city, and I felt like I don't even know what I want to say. Like I'm an opinionated person, but like singing is like, honestly, it's the most intimate part of me, and when I'm sharing my voice, it's the most like it's my soul, like literally, that I'm sharing with people. I don't know what my soul wants to say, because I could sing about love, I could sing about a lot of things, but it doesn't really mean that much to me. Like love songs, great, you know, but I was like, what am I supposed to say? And that's why I struggled for so long, because I didn't put out music, I didn't make music, because I didn't have anything to say. But when I'd gone through a few things in the past few years, I finally felt like I had something to say, and that was like, okay, now you can start writing. This is what you're supposed to say. And then I had to find out and learn how to actually write without suffocating the ideas. You know what I mean? So, but it was a bigger purpose than me, like that made me feel like I had something to say, and now I'm saying it. So yeah.
What would you say are your like music genres? Because I know you for playing the guitar and being like really soulful, but how would you describe your music to somebody who's never heard it before?
Yeah, I'd say like, I think this is like a general catchphrase, but like singer-songwriter, indie, neo soul, folk music. It's sort of all over the place. But yeah, I love folk music, and I love neo soul and R&B and a little bit of alternative stuff. So it's just a mix of all of those things, I'd say. But I'm also like, I'm interested in a lot of kind of music, so I'm there's gonna be different projects and different sides of me. Like I want to make a rap album. Don't tell anybody, but I am telling everyone right now. I want to make like a hip hop album one day. So like it's everything really. But I think my home base is definitely like folk and neo soul music. The marriage of that.
The marriage of that.
Yeah.
So with your right now, you're currently working on your debut album,
which is coming out soon.
It's gonna come out soon.
Yeah.
Woo. So this being your first album,
yeah,
big deal. What should us, the audience, expect from it? Or should we expect the unexpected? Like, what do you want us, like, you don't have to tell us everything, but like the feeling, the mood, because I feel like that's very much on you. The messages that you're speaking through it. Just give us a little glimpse.
I think expect a story, expect storytelling, expect to be spoken to really personally. I put a lot of heart into making it making it a full experience, I'd say, for everyone. And there might be parts of it that might not be for people, but I think it's like, it's a story. It's my story, one of my stories. And I think, yeah, expect a little bit of everything for sure, but expect to be moved. I think the story of the album is a deeply human story, and it's really relatable. And even if it wasn't, I'm just really proud because I think, yeah, I think it's gonna resonate and connect with a lot of people based on the current events, which have been going on for forever. Current events like in the past 5 years, 20 years,
Yeah.
like existence,
30.
all of existence, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How do you balance everything? Like all the daily things that you do? How do you balance being an artist, being a singer, being a songwriter, your day to day? Like, how are you able to manage it all?
I don't.
Okay, that's
Maybe
fair.
I don't. I don't
I
know.
don't either.
I'm here. I think I'm trying to make more time now to dedicate more time to doing music. I feel like sometimes I just leave it for like, okay, I'm done work or I don't have to do this, so I'll just like leave these 2 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're all like in a place now where we're trying to really dedicate our time to what we're supposed to be doing. So I think just getting organized has been a thing. Like, you know, I have a morning routine. I try and stick to it to an extent. I just make, you have to, it's a decision, you know, I make time for it, and it's a priority for me. So, yeah, balance just looks like getting really intentional with like my schedule and saying no to some stuff. Like,
Power
I
of
don't be
no.
going out sometimes, like ever, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
So I know you to also be you're heavy on community.
Yeah.
Especially with Black History Month, there was a lot of events and things that you were part of. There were schools, there was universities, there's different projects you facilitated or supported or helped with. What does community mean to you, especially in being in Edmonton? It's a big question.
I don't want to distill. Like, I could say community is everything. And the same people are like, oh, art is everything.
Yeah.
Food is everything. But when I say, I'd even put it, I'm not going to say that it's more than music, but community is everything. Relationships are everything. I think that's the most important thing in my life. We have nothing without people and one another. And I think, like, I got started in like community work and like activism or music spaces through obviously like the Black community in Edmonton. And I've been trying to find my way back. I think since the pandemic, like I sort of like with, you know, I fell back a little bit, but I think I've been trying to envision, I think, community in Edmonton in a new way, because sometimes there's like certain spaces that you might not feel welcome, or certain spaces I don't feel like the best, but like I know it to be fundamentally true that community is really important. So I think there's a lot of spaces and a lot of people and a lot of initiatives and groups that are doing really amazing work, and I'm really proud to be a part of the city and call it home. And I'm trying to be more intentional about how I build community too, because it's what allowed me to even be here. You know, if people didn't invite me to do things and like find my voice in the community, I wouldn't have been able to do it. So yeah, it's everything. It's integral to everything I do. So
I know you like to travel.
I do. I need to leave right now.
I feel you. Catch flights.
Girl,
that's where I am at.
Catching flights and feelings, may I add.
How has travel kind of changed you? Like, how has it formed you into who you are? Like, when you go travel, do you feel like you pick up something from where you are and then you come back, it's different? Does it influence your music? Does it influence the way you think?
Yeah, it does. 100%. I love a good time. I love an adventure. So like, it's just that. But I think it's perspective. Like, I'll feel one way and then I'll go somewhere and I can still feel the same way, but it just makes you think about the same circumstance in a different way. You know what I mean? Or you'll see something like, I was in the States in 2021 for like 4 months. And I was in a small town in North Carolina. And I had, I was visiting my sister at the time, and I would like drive through the town, and like, it's interesting because sometimes people, like, you love the place that you're not from. Like, I'd go and I'd be like, wow, that tree is so nice. I want to move here. You know what I mean? And it's like the most basic town ever. And people who live there are probably like, I want to get out of here. I want to go see like, I want to, you know, be somewhere, like, you know. But then people who are coming from all over the world are like, this place is amazing. And like, that's what travel does for me. It makes me think about like where I am and like where I'm situated and my perspectives, because I'm like, wow, like it taught me, like, I tend to appreciate things that that are far removed from me more than what's in front of me. So that's something that like it's done for me. Like I definitely make an active effort to appreciate what's in front of me, to appreciate my city, to appreciate the people in my city. So saying, oh, you know, da, 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 you know what I mean? So I think, and I love having a good time. I love meeting new people, and it's a big world, and I love to be a part and see as much of it as possible. So yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go into 5 senses,
Ooh.
which is just kind of letting us know about you, letting the audience know more about you, where your mind is at. So if you could create your own dream world, or this dream world exists, or you've been transported to maybe your favorite place, how would you describe it using 5 senses?
Yeah.
So we can start with, what would you see?
I'd see people living. Sounds like a kumbaya song. People live holding hands, living. But I'd see people from all walks of life with smiles on their face, eating together, drinking together, writing songs together, building things together. I just see community, and people. Everyone is like taken care of. I think that's what I see. Like a vibrant street of people doing well and happy. Yeah.
What do you hear?
Oh, I hear like trees.
Okay.
You know, when like there's the wind and like there's, I don't know. So I'm assuming my spirit is telling me that it's somewhere tropical.
That's what I was about to say. That's exactly what I was about to say.
It might not be Edmonton. I'm so sorry. I know, but like, yeah, I hear trees in the background. And like the wind, like when it's sweet, like you can hear the wind. That's what I hear. Maybe music in the distance too. So I'm like spilling out of a cafe somewhere. Who knows?
So what would you smell?
Ooh. Smell. I like food, so I'd hope I smell food somewhere.
But
Someone
you just
like
can't say food, like be specific.
what? Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
because you
what?
want it to be like your dream world.
Oh my god.
So like, what are those smells?
Okay, I grew up like Sudanese people would know. I grew up or like people who have, and like a lot of people, East Africans and the Arab world, like bakhur. It's like incense.
The incense. Yeah,
I'd smell incense because that's just like a familial smell to me that I love.
Okay.
And then I'd smell like the smell of water, like being close to the ocean, like that fresh, like that smell. I think I'd smell that too.
What would you feel?
I'd feel like I wanted to cry.
Oh, okay.
Out of happiness.
Okay.
So you weren't expecting that.
I'm not expecting that.
I'm keeping you on your toes.
Good.
I think I'd feel like a deep sense of like being present and content in a way that maybe people don't get to feel in their life, and it would probably move me to tears. I think that's something I'm always in the search of, is like contentment. So yeah, I think that's what I'd feel. I'd feel contentment and like deep gratitude that would move me. That's what I'd feel.
And what would you taste?
Food. I'm gonna tell you which
Girl,
food right now. I'm gonna tell you what. Just wait.
You know, I know a lot of South Sudanese food. So
you do. Oh, I love iced tea. Can I say that?
Okay, it's your world. So if you want to be living on iced tea, by all means.
If anyone has anything to say about iced tea, you can. The door. I've loved iced tea since I was like in the womb. Okay. So I'd taste iced tea, and I would taste. What other food do I like? I just like every food. Every food. I would taste every food. I would
Everything.
taste it. Yeah,
that's good. So I don't know if you've seen this recent trend on TikTok, but it's
Tell me.
if you were suddenly wealthy, what would be the signs?
Girl, stop. I just saw one the other day with a plane in like the driveway. It's like a tiny house, but there's a whole plane in the driveway.
Yeah. So what would the signs be?
Ooh, I've never thought about this. Like, actually, this is a great prompt. I'm gonna go pray about this later, so it comes true.
You don't have to say everything, but like maybe one thing.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't be here as much.
That's the sign.
It's the travel.
It's the travel.
It's the travel.
Travel.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's a lot for a lot of people.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. And now we've gotten to the point where you get to ask me 2 questions.
Oh my god, a whole 2 questions?
Or if you only have one prepared, it's fine.
No, I have 5. No, listen. Excuse
Last time
only
somebody came
2?
with 11, please.
No, seriously? Shut up. No, stop it right now. Okay, I'm the interviewer now. Okay.
Yes.
I think it's actually just like trailing off what you just said right now. But if money wasn't a factor, like if you didn't have to work right now, what would you be doing?
There's this famous person's cousin, and I saw her video yesterday, and she's like, her words were, what did she say? People ask me what I do for work, and she's like, oh, I just live and I get paid for it. So that's it.
You just exist.
You just exist and you get paid.
Okay. What would you be doing?
What would I be doing?
Hobbies? Where would you be?
I would be traveling. I would have like a home base, but I would definitely live like someplace for maybe 4 months, go to another place for a certain amount of time.
By coastal Lebanon.
You want to know these places? We're still working on it. And I don't want to say something. And then people are like, you said you were going to do this.
Listen, you just...
But yeah, definitely like, I don't know, it's bi-coastal, bi-global living.
Listen,
something in that
extraterrestrial.
Yeah, something where I'll
Mars,
live
1
or
month.
somewhere for like maybe 6 months or 4 to 6 months and then move somewhere else for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to do that so bad. But then I think about like, I'm so sorry, but like I was just thinking about it the other day. I'm like, if you like, you know, end up like settling down with a partner or people, you know, trying to settle down in like a relationship, what am I going to do with that person?
I mean, they would have to adapt whether they like it or not.
This is the, you know,
or
I'm like,
find somebody who like would want to, because I actually met somebody when I went to Senegal and Gambia.
Yeah.
So I met somebody, he said he didn't care to travel.
Yeah.
Before he met his girlfriend. And he said he'd learned that from growing up, he learned that you just work to work. Like you have to work to survive.
Yeah.
But when he met his girlfriend, they've gone to like how many places together?
So now they're like,
so they travel everywhere and he really enjoys it. So I think it's possible.
It is. You just have to like want to do it together. Yeah. Okay. My second question for you, Lebanon.
Oh, I thought you were gonna forget.
My second. No, I'm carrying this on my back. I got you. What's something future Lebanon, say 5-10 years from now, is gonna thank current Lebanon for?
Ooh. Hey, this is a deep...
Listen, you asked me a question about a proverb about lions, beards, and I'm still confused. You better think.
Okay. What would I be thankful? I think this season that I'm in from 2023, I'm trying to be 2023 till now. I think like the personal development that I've done has like been so different from previous years. Yeah. I'm okay with this being alone and being on my own. I've like adapted. I think before it used to bother me a lot, but now I have peace of mind about it. And I'm learning to enjoy this season of being alone. And like, I've always been like going to restaurants on my own, like going to movies. Like it wasn't a big deal. Even like solo travel, I do that a lot on my own. So I think the fact that I've been able to develop myself in the past year in this way, and every time I'm discovering something new that I can add on to who I am. Yeah. Yes. So because you want to so badly sing or do some jingle.
Okay, I'm giving you the opportunity. Listen, I was joking. I was completely joking about. Oh, okay. Let me.
Okay, you can give us a little, you know, chop it up, Lebanon, woo. You know something.
If I sing this, you have to make it the jingle for the whatever.
I already we got season 2.
Season 2. Okay.
Season 2.
Okay, give me a beat.
Just like you're asking the wrong person.
It's a. Do you have no rhythm? That's okay. Listen. We are the chop it up. Ooh. We are the chop it up. Yes. We are the chop it up. Chop it up with lemonade. Ooh. Chop it up with lemonade. That was
spontaneous. We weren't expecting it, but you did that.
Listen, I can re-record it properly and send it to you. I really want to be the official jingle for the podcast.
We got you for season 2, okay? I've said it on air, so you know, season 2 we got you. So, any future projects or anything people should be looking for coming out from you?
Yes, I have an album coming out, and when you are seeing this, the album will be coming out in a few months' time. Okay. And I don't know, should I say the name?
No.
Should I say the name? Keep it secret? I do have an album out. It's my debut album, and it is really amazing, and I'm really excited. So you can find me on social media at KIJALADO, and yeah, come follow along for the journey of that. So yeah.
Thank you so much for taking your time out to come and chop it up today.
Thank you. Chop it up with Lebanon.
The song, the new theme song. So this has been another episode of Chop It Up with your girl Lebanon. Stay tuned because next week we have another guest who's going to inspire us and give us inspiration, and have a great evening, night, morning, wherever you are.
Time is a construct. Stay woke.
It is. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.